Hi guys, it's Untitled Chapter. How's everyone doing? Good, I hope. Today I am reviewing my first ever fragrance from the house of Jovoy. It's called GARDEZ MOI, which means keep me or save me, but not as in save me. It's more about keep me a seat or, you know, save me a place at that table. So not what I initially thought of as my gardenia. Dumb, or my garden. I actually thought it was, but then I realised jardins is garden. So anyway, GARDEZ MOI by Jovoy Paris. So a little bit about Jovoy. Jovoy was a perfume house that actually was founded in the 1920s, so long ago, and then it was totally forgotten about for 80 years, and then someone else came along and kind of breathed new life into it, and they launched 7 fragrances, I think. This is one of the newer ones anyway. It came out in 2013, and it's made by a real prolific perfumer called Bertrand de Chaufour. He's kind of some genius in the perfume world. Apparently, perfumers can go to him with an idea or a brief, and he just delivers like that. No fuss, no questions, just he makes them. So, on the eternal quest for my find the perfect insert perfume style here, I've been trying to find a really good gardenia. Gardenia in fragrances is 99% of the time, as far as I know, an accord. You can't steam distill gardenias. They do not yield any results. So I've been hunting, I've smelled a lot of fragrances that say it's gardenia, but it kind of leans a little bit more towards jasmine. And this is the first one I've smelled that gives me all of the greatness of gardenia that I'm looking for in a fragrance. So that's why I wanted to review it. So the note list is really extensive, and a lot of them you don't smell. I will tell you what they are just for review purposes anyway, because, you know, it's a review. But this to me is almost like a gardenia soliflor, but I'll tell you a little bit more about the nuances in a second. Let's talk about the notes. So the top notes are tomato leaf, cyclamen, which to me is baffling. Cyclamens don't have a smell. I don't know what that is. I'm guessing it's always a perfumer's interpretation. Bertrand de Chaufour says that it gives a watery accord to this perfume. Then you have black pepper, aldehydes, and coriander. The heart notes are gardenia, but it's an accord. It's an accord made up of other white flowers and other bits and pieces to create that lusciousness, basically. Jasmine, which would be part of the accord, lily, mimosa, styrax, and ylang ylang. And then the base notes are cedarwood, raspberry, oak moss, musk, styrax again, and vanilla. So let me spray it wet on this hand. I have tried this out quite a lot of times. My sample is nearly empty. Sad times. So this is about a femme fatale. It's about super sexy, bold woman wearing stilettos, walking down the street and leaving a gorgeous white floral trail behind her. Bertrand de Chaufour wanted to make a bold statement fragrance, unforgiving, kind of just, it is what it is kind of thing. And that's probably why I like it, because it's not too fussy. So when you first smell this, this gives me everything that I look for in a gardenia fragrance. I just want to say that it's such a clever thing for a perfumer to be able to create that. Because as I said, steam distilling gardenias doesn't yield any results. You can get gardenia oil from the old method of enfleurage. You can also get it from solvent extraction or maybe even headspace technology now. But it's a very expensive ingredient. So in perfumes, it's usually never real gardenia that you're smelling. This is everything at once. This is an explosion of whiteness, and I really love it. It gives me that kind of strange fruitiness at first that you get from tuberose sometimes, even though there's no tuberose in here. It's creamy, it's super luscious, it's very loud, and a lot of the reviews that I have read about this say that it doesn't last. I find that really weird, because some of the times that I've tried this on my arm, it's lasted an entire day at work. Plot twist, my shift was only 2 hours long. No, I'm only joking. It was an 8-hour shift, and I could still smell this on my arm when I left, which is crazy. However, there is a change that happens. So first of all, gorgeous white petals all over the place. It's a tiny bit spicy, and just a touch green. I thought it was going to be a lot greener reading reviews before I actually smelled this. There's tomato stems in here, and yeah, I just thought it was going to be greener, but it isn't. This is all about buttery petal explosion of intense, heady, white floral gardenia, and I really, really like it. It's dense, it's got so much weight and body, and it's poof, bang, in your face. I love it when floral fragrances feel a little bit like pollen, and I get that from this. Bertrand de Chauffour is obviously a master perfumer, and he has created the exact feeling of gardenia from jasmine, lily, mimosa, ylang, and just other bits and pieces. So yay for that, I love it. So what happens when this starts to dry? As I said, this is a solid floor. You're not going to get multiple chameleon changes over time. But what happens is some of the depth of it starts to change, and it becomes a little bit more crisp and clear. It still feels white floral. It loses a bit of the lusciousness of what the gardenia part is in the opening. And it's almost like it sort of separates, and you can start to feel nuances from the other flowers, like touch lily, touch jasmine. So what was that one singular woomph of gardenia starts to become a white floral in a different capacity, if that makes sense. It's still so beautiful though. Oh my gosh. So I can feel jasmine come into play a little bit more, but it still feels like there is gardenia here. It feels like it does what it's supposed to do, and I'm so glad for that. I can imagine that this in the blazing heat of summer would be amazing. But yeah, if you're a little bit worried about white florals or they're not your thing, and you try this out, maybe go easy on the trigger, because I do find it really potent for the first 2 hours at least. So in the dry down, it's crisper, it's woodier, there is no raspberry to speak of. A lot of the notes here that I look at, I think must just be part of the structure that either accent things or maybe hold it up. Because I don't really get aldehydes here, I don't get tomato leaf, I don't get raspberry, I don't even get musk or oak moss. This is floral, 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 solifloral, okay? Probably about 7 hours in is where it becomes closer to the skin. All of the lusciousness is gone, but it's still got the crispness of what white florals are, depending on which ones they are, but it's dry here, and the crispness is really nice. It's more of in its wafty stage here as opposed to being projection craziness that it was at the beginning. And that's all I can say about it really. It's not super complicated, and sometimes that's what you want from a fragrance. You just want it to be white flowers, and I want to slot this into my collection as my gardenia for sure, because at the moment I haven't tried anything else that's come close to smelling like what I want from a gardenia. So any suggestions in the comments would be welcome. That's my review of GARDEZ MOI by Jovoy Paris. So if you guys want to get this fragrance, head on over to natino.co.uk. They sell it there. I'll post a direct link below. I'm Ouch Fomino. Click my logo down there to subscribe. Trying to make the world smell better one video at a time. Goodbye.